again and again and again. Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. I'm happy. I don't know if you can tell, I'm kind of excited about this story. I've been calling this. I said it would happen, and it always happens in stages. When you see a woman that's always getting the hookups, always having a great time, life is wonderful, I don't need no man, I'm never going to settle down, I'm just going to sleep with the bad boys until the day I die. I'm having a great time, and screw these men and these losers and everybody else. And then 40 hits. The big 40. The wall comes for all. And it doesn't always happen at 40, but that is a number that freaks women out, and it should. Because all these women become alpha widows, they can't find a man after that, and everything gets tough. Well, guess what? It happened to a dating coach. I don't know if you know this or not, but there's a dating coach called Jana Hawking. And I'm always going to rag on her because, again, it's like a loose woman who has her way with men for her whole life, and all her stories are basically her journal. And she has a brand new story. And she's very angry at men, successful men, good-looking men that date young women. Men should be dating age-appropriate women. Now, she had no problem with this when she was in her 20s or in her 30s. No problems with this. She even said, I met a mature, hot Mr. Big just a couple weeks ago in New York City. He was established and rich and successful. We had a beautiful hookup. And here we are just a couple weeks later, and the big 40 is starting to take its toll. Jana says, age-appropriate love is 2025's hottest trend. Wait a minute, I got a button for that.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so, son.
She says, I'm looking at you, Hugh Jackman and Keanu Reeves, because those guys date, within a decade. And she's very concerned because this is the stage. It happens, it's the same, it's as old as time. We warn them for decades, right? We tell all these women, this is what's going to happen. You have beauty and your body's still kind of perky and it's in a good shape, but age is going to catch up to you. And if all you have to offer is your body and maybe that you're a fun date, that is going to go away. And if you haven't selected a winner of a man and you haven't found that guy, you're going to get left behind. Guess who's getting left behind? Wait for it. Jana. That's right. She said, something both horrifying and fascinating happened to me the day I turned 40. My matches on dating apps plummeted.
I am shocked. Well, not that shocked.
Of course they did. You're getting old, my dear. Now, in the grand scheme of things, you're not old, but when the only thing you have to offer is a little good, fun time at the end of the night of a hot date, yep, your expiration date is a-coming. If you're a banana, you got some brown spots. You're not quite soft yet, but you got the brown spots. She said, not because my looks or my bio had changed, just my age. That's right. Men know you have an expiration date and they don't want to pick up the fruit that looks like it's getting a little old already. Apparently, a lot of men set their matching age preferences to cap out at 39, leaving anyone over 40 out of the running, no matter what age the man is. That's right. That's exactly how this works. I'm a man in my 50s. I would only date somebody younger than 40 because I want a woman for her beauty and her youth. Yes, her personality as well. We have to get along and have fun together. But why would I get a woman at the end of her run when she's got a high body count and she's already done all the things and seen all the things and now it's time to settle down? That's not when men want their women. Men want them in the fun, hot stage, just to let you know. She says, so imagine my delight when photos of Hugh Jackman, 56, holding hands with his new flame, Sutton Foster, started popping up everywhere. Now, here's what's funny about this. And she says, and shock and horror, she's 48 years old. Did I squeal? I may have squealed. Yes. So Jana's still thinking, at 48 years old, maybe I can get how old is Hugh Jackman? 56-year-old man. That's 8 years difference, Jana. That means as a 40-year-old woman now, you're talking about your cutoff basically being a 50-year-old guy. So no man between 40 and 50 is going to watch you. He's going to be older than 50. And you know something? Those men are going to take her out and they will sleep with her and she'll still be the alpha widow for another few more years and then it's going to be over. I also bet this woman and it's just a guess. I didn't look her up. I bet she doesn't write articles about how she hooks up with everybody and has a high body count. I'm just guessing. She said he's a man with a world at his feet, a Hollywood star, one assumes, a healthy bank account, and many a red carpet parade, to parade some hot young thing down. There's Jana, okay? She doesn't say he's sweet, he's kind, he's giving, he's a loving man. She does say she met him, of course. She has to name drop. She doesn't say he's a wonderful guy, a loving guy. What does she say? He's a Hollywood star, so hypergamy, he's famous, desirable, a healthy bank account, he's rich, and many a parade, a red carpet parade, to parade some hot young thing down. She thinks she's going to be that hot thing. She still has aspirations of grandeur. She still thinks, I still have a chance. It's getting hard. Not many men on the dating apps anymore, but there's still a chance. I just need to cross my fingers and pray.
No.
You've run out of time, Jana. She said, but he chose to romance a woman in his age bracket. Women over 40 fist pumped the air in delight. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. They've got lives, Jana. They're not worried about who Hugh Jackman. I mean, the guy's 56, yes, but he's athletic. He's good looking. He's a Hollywood star. He's financially successful. He's well known. You're still shooting for the 0.001%, Jana. But she got to keep her head in the clouds, even though it's slow. It's like running on the beach with dry sand. It's all slipping through her hands, and she's gripping on real tight for that last minute. Maybe it'll happen for me. She said, having met Jackman last December when I attended a breakfast in Tribeca held by one of his closest friends, I can vouch for his good character. He was warm, friendly, and not a hint of sleaze. Well, okay. And yeah, I imagine he does have a good character, and he's warm and friendly. But notice that's not the first thing she said about him. What she said was, he whirled at his feet and a star and money and all the rest. They always listen to what they tell you. They'll tell you what's most important first. She said, and trust me, I was trying to give him the old wink and nod, but clearly his heart was beating elsewhere. So Jana made her play, and Hugh Jackman wisely said, no, I don't think so. You've got a little bit too many partners in your past, and you're a little too easy for me to pick up. But thanks for trying. So she shot her shot, and she failed. Jackman could have had anyone, and let's be honest, many men in his shoes would have grabbed a Victoria's Secret catalog, cough, cough, Bradley Cooper, and picked out a young supermodel purely for ego's sake. But they're not pulling out young supermodels for ego's sake. They picking out young supermodels because they want to sleep with them. That's a man that's not interested in settling down or finding the love of his life. Somebody like Bradley Cooper, who is a little bit younger, he's still in his I get to sleep with anybody phase. So he's going to pick young supermodels. Then when they get to be he's almost 60 now. When he gets to be 60, then he says, you know what? I can still get something in my 40s. And she's sweet and she's kind and she brings a lot to the table other than just a bad personality and a high body count. That's the difference. Jackman found in Sutton a woman who appreciates theater, music, and artistic outlets as much as he does, someone who he could sing show tunes until their dying days. He looked beyond the surface and found a soulmate, not just arm candy. But here's your problem, Jana. You're arm candy. You're arm candy. I've read your articles. Unfortunately, I read every single one that comes out of you. Not because I'm so enticed by your interesting character or your beauty. It's because it's like watching a train wreck very slowly over the years. And you get to see the trains collide, and in slow motion, everything starts to crumple, and slowly, bit by bit, story by story, month by month, year by year, it's like watching a train wreck. And here you're having another crash. You just crashed into 40. And now you're finding out, hey, these guys are looking for substance. They're looking for a woman of character. I have substance. I have character. Do you? Do you really? Because based on all the articles I've read, even based in this old one where you're talking about he's a star and a bank account and red carpet to parade some hot young thing down, That doesn't sound like, it doesn't sound like you're actually saying, oh, I wish I had a man to spend my life with that's sweet and kind and meaningful and we have a lot in common. I mean, you kind of give yourself away. She said, yeah, in a world where middle-aged men casually waltz off with women who weren't even born when Titanic hit the big screen, Jackman's decision feels downright revolutionary. It is in many ways, because rich, powerful men, if they're not really into settling down, they can have their fun like a lot of guys can. She said, forget Marvel's Wolverine. He's the real superhero move, and he's not alone. Enter stage left, Keanu Reeves, 60, sweet, soulful Reeves, who's been with Alexandra Grant at 51, a woman in his actual age bracket for years. Now, see, listen to yourself here, Jana. That's right. They've been together for years, but they're also 9 years difference. So they're still a decade apart. He's still a decade younger, and they've been together for years. Now, why? Now, Keanu Reeves has gotten a little flack for being with this woman because she's not exceptionally beautiful. She's not exceptionally striking. And, she is 50 plus. He could have anybody. Why did he choose her? Is it because she's hot? Is it because she's beautiful? Is it because of her body or how much fun she is on a date? No. He picked a woman that he said, I think I want to spend the rest of my life with this woman. She's got qualities other than her beauty, other than her body, other than her looks. And that's evident by looking at the picture. I'm not trying to be, mean to her. But the point is she brings something else to the table that he fell in love with. Same thing for Hugh Jackman. But it seems to me, again, after reading your articles for decades, you're not bringing anything to the table other than your looks and your perky go-get-em attitude and your body by sleeping with men, Jana. And while I address her directly in this, it's the same thing for all these women. I've done videos on Terry Hatcher. I've done videos on, there's so many of them, I forget, who did the Basic Instinct movie, whatever her name is. Anyway, all of these stars, all these women that could have had it all and have dated these women or have dated men, they had all the opportunities in the world, and now they're in their 60s, and men aren't showing up anymore. And I got to be honest with you, at least these were actresses. At least they were rich. At least they were beautiful. At least they were successful. And they're walking away without anybody in their 60s. So what is the average, person that writes articles for the New York Post have? You got to bring the heat. You got to bring the personality and more than just the experience of dating hot arm candy. And you're not it. And neither are all these other women that run into this. Look, I got to be honest with you. If you said, yeah, but neither are you, no kidding. I've been 5'6", I think that's my official height. I've been 5'6" all my life. I've been bald since I hit 28. Okay? I'm a little pudgy. If you say, yeah, you're no arm candy, you're damn right I'm not. And so what do I have to bring instead? I have to try to bring a decent income, be a good man, be intelligent, be a good conversationalist. At some point, sure, I got to get back to the gym and get in shape. But you got to be a well-rounded person. You got to bring a lot more to the table if you really want to find a soulmate. That requires you to have a soul. It means that you have to bring something special to the table other than just the external things. That's where you run into so much trouble, Jana, because you've even said before in your own articles, and I keep saying Jana, but it's women like her, which is a large majority of her friends and other women around the same age. They keep saying, I've met these great guys and they were nice and they were funny and they were interesting, but I needed more. They didn't drive a spark in me. I didn't have that lust for them. Right, because you keep going with the hot guys. You keep going for the other ones, and you're not it. That's all I'm saying. She says, Reeves and Jackman are out here reminding us that shared life experiences and emotional depth might just be the hottest trend of 2025. Thank you for admitting it, Jana. But you've even said yourself, you don't have a lot of emotional depth when it comes to these things. You're doing the hookup culture. You don't have a lot of emotional depth if you can just sleep with random guy after random guy, date after date after date. And then when you get tired of getting used like that, you say, men need to spend $2,000 on dates and dinner with me until I actually am going to sleep with them. And then 3 weeks later, you're saying, I met a hot guy in a bar and went on this 2-day vacation and we got at it. And you're your own worst enemy. You say yourself you have nothing. And this is why my parents, my grandparents, my aunt and uncles, many of your families, many of your parents, that's why they were able to stay together for decades and decades. Because they loved each other. The looks faded, but they respected each other and they liked each other's company. And they didn't have to have the same hobbies. My father would be out, well, actually, now that I think about it, my uncle, my father, my grandfather, all the men that I ever grew up with, they'd be out tinkering on the car. They'd be in the garage making some furniture. They'd be out clearing the land or doing something that they were passionate about. And my mom would be sitting inside, my aunt, whatever, they'd be doing things they were passionate about. It's not like you have to be a bestie with somebody. You don't have to be best friends. You don't have to do everything together. But what you do have to do is bring two different types of things together. Masculinity, femininity. You have to bring in, he's good at these things, she's good at these things. And it mixes all together and makes this wonderful, delicious soup because everything's different. But all you are is and you've said this yourself, you've wanted to be arm candy on a guy's arm when he goes out. You say, oh, I need to be good looking, I need to be pretty, that you're in good shape. And that's the same thing you look at in men. So when you guys get together, the only thing you have is looks. Now, maybe the guys are bringing a little bit more to the table. I assume they do, or else you wouldn't be with them. But what are you bringing? That's the trouble that these women run into time after time, is once the looks fade, once the age creeps up on them, they have nothing to offer. That's why so many of them are single and whining once they hit 40 and 50, because she even started this article by whining that her matches on the dating apps are going down. But anyway, she's now saying we need to retire the outdated notion that beauty has an expiration date. And this is where see, again, they all do this when they hit 40 or 50 and their choices start to decline. It's not about beauty. Their beauty doesn't have an expiration date. Yeah, I'll tell that to the women in their 50s and 60s. Because they have to have an inner beauty. They need to be a special person, someone that someone can love. And apparently, that's probably not you. Because here you are in your 40s, sleeping around and partying, and you can't find that man. She says, consider just divorced Jennifer Lopez, who at 55 is still turning heads with her flawless glow and gym-honed physique. Nicole Kidman, 57, graces red carpets and campaigns with timeless elegance. And Halle Berry, at 58, is redefining sexy with every confident stride. These women are living proof that confidence, self-care, and embracing who you are only make you more stunning with age. No, you're incorrect. These women are showing you that with trainers and maybe some Botox and maybe a good diet and taking care of yourself, you can be pretty and have a nice body. That's what they're telling you, because that's what most men value in their women the most at first. And then over time, once they've fallen in love, once they realize the woman has the qualities that he wants to be with for the rest of his life, then he falls in love with her. Then when she puts on a couple pounds, then when the looks fade, it doesn't matter as much because there's other qualities. Even here in your own statement, you're only finding the external qualities that men care about initially. You're not digging down below the surface. And if you're not looking down below the surface on other people, I can guarantee you right now you're not digging below the surface on yourself. And all these women do the same thing over and over and over again as the choices fall off. I don't know what your hobbies are. You know how I don't know what your hobbies are? In all your articles, you don't talk about it. I talk about building furniture. I talk about building a cabin. I talk about making men's retreats, which should be happening this year, hopefully as the land prices come down. I talk about things that I've done, travel, other things like that. You really don't talk about much. And again, I look at all your articles, as painful as it is, because I like ragging on you because you are supposedly a dating coach that gets everything wrong in dating. She says, anyway, she continues on, who wouldn't swipe right on that? Well, Yes. At 55, 57, 58, the people that you mentioned, they're all beautiful. They've still taken care of themselves. They're all high-name Hollywood celebrities. Yeah, there's a lot of men swiping on them. Those are external things. So swiping on it is not falling in love. Swiping on it is not marrying it. Swiping on it is not promising to be with them for the rest of their lives. See, you're too used to controlling the bedroom, and it's men that control marriage. And that's where you're going to run into problem. Because even here you're talking about dating. You're talking about sleeping with because they're beautiful. You're not talking about and let's talk about just divorced Jennifer Lopez. Okay? How many men has she gone through? Like, she's a poster child for collecting engagement rings and wedding rings. And now she's 55, and yeah, she may look great. When does that run out? Does Nicole Kidman have a husband? Does Halle Berry? They're all single again. How long can you gamble? Anyway, she says, if men can date younger without raising eyebrows, why can't women? Because younger men don't want you. They only want to sleep with you. They don't want to marry you. She says, spoiler alert, we can, and many of my friends think it's fabulous. Yes, because you're dating younger men, and those men are sleeping with you. They're probably excited they can go raw and not have to worry about getting you pregnant because no eggs. But that's not soulmate. She doesn't even see what she's making the same mistake even in her damn article here. She says, but back to Jackman and Reeves, because I'm not done yet. Their choices send a powerful message to women everywhere. You're not invisible just because you're over 35. Personally, leading up to my 40th birthday, I kept hearing the narrative that women above that age belonged on the clearance rack while men got upgraded to the luxury section. But now these two silver foxes are flipping the script, showing us that emotional maturity is far more valuable than chasing someone who isn't even alive during the Friends finale. But Jana, where's your emotional maturity? These women, I bet, have it. That's where you're running into the problem. You're missing the big point still. What do you bring to the table? Why didn't Hugh Jackman go for you? I mean, you could arguably say, you're younger than his current woman. You could arguably say you're as attractive as her. Maybe even to some people more so. Why didn't he go for you? I guess you could say he's looking deeper than the surface, and when he looked down below your surface, like many of the women this age, he found nothing. Emptiness. Except maybe a graveyard or skeletons and a body count. She says, and let's not overlook the sheer relief of it. No awkward generational gaps to navigate, no TikTok dances to learn, and no explaining who Nirvana is. I got news for you. If you're dating a woman that's 20, 25 years younger than you, and you're successful and you're able to score a supermodel that's 25, you're not doing TikTok dances with her. You're not explaining who Nirvana is. What are you doing? You're taking her to red carpet events. She's enjoying the champagne. You're mulling about. People are praising you for, look at Leonardo DiCaprio, for God's sakes. He's the men's poster child of enjoying women up to 25 and then yeeting them out the window. And he has no problems turning right around and picking up another 25-year-old because he's not doing TikTok dances. He's not doing any of this stuff. He's having his fun and he's dumping them because he's not looking for a forever woman. And here's the irony. When he does, maybe he'll be like Henry Cavill that finds a very beautiful, successful woman they have a lot in common with. And yes, she's, 15 years younger than him. And maybe he goes for it. Maybe some of them are the older guys like these two that find some that are kind of in their age range. But do you notice something? The choice is up to the men, not the women. And who gets the prize, which in this case is the successful hot guy, the popular guy. That's who gets to win this game, not you. You're just hoping now that you get scooped up. And the problem is you've had all the opportunities in the world to find that guy that would scoop you up forever. And you threw them away because you kept thinking you could do better. And now it's starting to sink home. She says, case in point, every time Leonardo DiCaprio at 50 parades another under 27 model on a red carpet or yacht, I can't help but think, what the heck do you talk about? Nothing. And here's what's funny. He doesn't use her for talk. Trust me on that. He takes her out. They have fun together. She enjoys the limelight. Maybe they have some good conversations. Probably not about music. Maybe about some movies. Probably nothing too in depth. Because a man that wants to talk in depth, that wants to have real meaningful conversation about things that actually concern him, he's talking to other men. He's not talking to her about it. What he's talking to her about is, here's what I'd like you to wear tonight when we get done with the gala and we go back to my place and smash. But women keep thinking there's this Disney princess thing in this, where the perfect man's going to sweep them up. That's not how any of this works, because women keep thinking men value women for what women value men for. We don't. It's a whole different set of criteria. And spoiler alert, your criteria is getting old. She said, surely these young women aren't lining up to hear him recount back in my day stories. No, they should be having glorious sex with fit spring men their own age and not babysitting a dad bod on the dance floor. Well, but here's the difference. The sprightly young men their own age, they don't have any money. They don't have any status. They don't have any popularity. And those young men that are able to sleep with these beautiful women, they've got 8 other women just like them. So now you're just one of the herd. But Leonardo DiCaprio at 50 can choose one, and she says, at least I'm not one of the herd. At least I get him for whatever period of time, and maybe I'm interesting enough that he'll keep me around even after my expiration date of 25, at least in Leo's mind. Maybe, so she's fishing too. See, again, all these women can continually think men look at women for the same reason women look at men, and we just don't. We just don't. She said, so here's the big question. Could Hugh Jackman and Keanu Reeves examples inspire the rest of us to rethink our dating habits? Well, you got to convince the men. You've had control of the bedroom for decades, Jana, but the problem is now that the men are in control of the relationships. There's no inspiring you to rethink things because you never will. You've exemplified that in all your articles because you'll be back on about how you feel glorious and young because a 28-year-old wanted to shag you and he was fun and you had a good time. And you'll move on from this little phase you're in. But if you want to rethink your dating habit, you've got to stop sleeping around. You've got to go for the attractive bad boys and you've got to bring something to the table. That's the problem. You're not going to change the men's mind. The only thing you can do is change. And for her age, boy, she's a pretty woman and they're having a lot of fun together. She says, imagine a world where we stop chasing the unattainable and start valuing people who actually get us. Are you talking about yourself here, Jana? Because you chase the unattainable. You chase the men that will sleep with you but not date you. You chase the men that'll date you but not marry you. And if you're going to start valuing the people who actually get you, they're not the sports stars. They're not the millionaires. They're not the Mr. Biggs out of New York. They're guys a lot closer to your range. She said, where dates didn't feel like cross-generational cultural exchanges, where maturity and being on the same wavelength became the new aphrodisiacs. Revolutionary, right? Maybe for you, but I guarantee you, these two have so much to talk about. And besides that, I mean, they're a good-looking couple. She says, so here's to Hollywood hunks, Jackman and Reeves, the patron saints of age-appropriate romance. Their love lives their love lives prove that genuine connection's far hotter than a six-pack any day. Speak for yourself. How many times have you had a genuine connection, Jana? I've read your stories. It's all about fun and games and having a great time. And the men that are interesting and funny and have a lot in common, they're boring. You've had your chance to prove that genuine connections are hotter than a six-pack every day. And then you know what you write about? The hockey star that you went out with or the rugby player that you went out with. and that he's good looking and young and hot, and you're doing it to yourselves. All these women are doing it to themselves. I just like talking to Jana because I hope, like 3 or 4 of my other videos, I hope she watches this one. I hope she hears my voice and says, maybe he's right. Instead of coming around and writing another hate article about me, maybe listen to my advice. Jana and all the other women, coming from a man who's had friends that are very successful and very good looking, that have shared and passed around the women and dated them and had the hookups, to the guy that's actually has friends that have been married, successfully married for decades and who are happy. Find somebody on your own level. They don't have to be tall and beautiful and dark and handsome and all the other things. Find somebody that has similarities to you where you get along. And maybe he's not the perfect guy as far as the looks and the money and the popularity, but he's somebody you actually are friends with and you get along with. You don't have to be besties, but you get along with. And you have the same long-term goals, not just who wants to be on top in the bedroom in the next 15 minutes. Maybe if you do that, maybe you might actually find a guy that would put a ring on it. And she says, for those of us hitting our 40s, it's a reminder that we're not just still in the game, we're winning it. Jana, you're a single 40-year-old woman who probably can't procreate anymore. You wish you wanted to have this relationship, but you're still single. You don't even have a long-term relationship. You've said in many of your articles that you're winning it because you're this single woman out on the town having mimosas and having hot hookups. You're not winning. You're alone. You got a body count, and time is a ticking. I don't think it's too late. I keep saying Jana and late. I don't think it's too late for women like Jana. But you got to bring more to the table because men know the looks fade. Men know the body fades. And if they know that and there's nothing under the surface, they're going to enjoy what you bring to the table today, and then they're going to toss you aside. So you need to develop your personality. You need to become irresistible to the men that are of your level, not the alpha Chad winners that just want to sleep with you. And you got a chance, but there's not much time left, Jana. The sand is again, it's like handfuls of dry sand running on a beach. There's a few grains left there, but your choices are going to get slim. And she realizes it, and that's why she writes this article. Let's celebrate the men that love the women over 40. We need more of them. Why weren't you writing this 6 years ago when you were celebrating all the hot adventures? Because you weren't 40. And now you are, and the men that you want, they're probably going to go younger. So you better bring some more to the table, because as far as everything else is concerned, you're just about out of time.